Welcome to Vetted, the channel dedicated to exploring the unexplained and sharing truly personal accounts of the unknown. Today, we delve into a profound and deeply intimate journey, one where the boundaries of self and reality blur in the wake of personal crisis. This is the story of an individual who, navigating the difficult path of trauma recovery, found themselves unexpectedly opened to a series of encounters with what they believe to be non-human intelligences, or NHI. Occurring in late 2024, their experiences involve perplexing light phenomena, sensations of impossible movement, an astonishing intimate connection, and a striking transformation of their inner and outer world. While intensely personal, many elements of this testimony resonate with widely reported anomalous experiences, offering a unique perspective on the nature of contact. Hi everyone. For a few months now, I've carried this story, a series of events that profoundly altered my perception of reality. I actually posted a brief version of it on another subreddit, but I ended up deleting it. At the time, I simply framed my experience as being entirely related to trauma recovery. I was going through a period of severe anxiety, likely grappling with PTSD and even a possible diagnosis of ADHD. This was especially true after spending a lot of time talking to my therapist, delving deep into my past. My mind was already a complex, churning landscape of healing and introspection, which, in hindsight, may have made me uniquely receptive. It was only a week ago that I saw a very similar experience described on Reddit, and that post, just a few paragraphs, ignited a spark in my mind. It got me researching, truly looking into what others had reported, and what I found surprised me deeply. I never expected to discover so many parallels, so many similar experiences out there that resonated with my own. It forced me to reconsider, to expand my understanding of what had happened to me. This is just a summary of it, as I don't want to make it too long for a first full share. I used ChatGPT to help me organize my thoughts and ensure clarity, as English isn't my first language, and translating these complex emotions and events can be difficult. So here it goes. In late 2024, specifically around October and November, I had 3 distinct nighttime experiences that I now believe may be related to contact with non-human intelligences, or NHI. These weren't just vague dreams. They felt profoundly real, tangible, even as they defied every logical explanation, leaving an undeniable imprint on my waking state. The encounters invariably began with light phenomena, not harsh, blinding lights that pierced the darkness, but a soft, pervasive luminescence that seemed to materialize from nowhere, filling my peripheral vision, subtly altering the ambient darkness of my room. This wasn't merely a visual effect. It was often accompanied by overwhelming sensations of floating. It wasn't just a dream of floating. It felt like my physical body was being lifted, defying gravity, a sensation of effortless, gentle ascension. This feeling of levitation, often reported in contact experiences, was profoundly disorienting, yet strangely calm during the event. In one particularly vivid and impactful event, the first instance of its kind during this period, there was a sexual interaction with a being that appeared to be light gray or bluish in form. Its presence was profoundly felt, its shape distinct, yet its details were ethereal, almost composed of shimmering light itself rather than solid matter. The experience, while undeniably intimate, occurred without any sense of fear or violation on my part during the interaction. It felt strange, yes, Perplexing, certainly, but also somehow consensual and almost tender in its execution, fundamentally different from the invasive, clinical, or violent encounters so often described in other abduction accounts. This unexpected intimacy resonated with a deep, inexplicable connection. After each of these encounters, I always woke up in the morning in a very specific, highly unusual way that became a distinct marker for me. I woke up in the middle of the bed, a position I never sleep in, ever. My usual sleep position is on my side, or sometimes my back. More strikingly, I was always on my stomach. This is a position I strictly avoid due to my asthma. Sleeping on my stomach constricts my breathing, making it very uncomfortable, almost impossible for me to sustain for any length of time. Yet there I was, after each of these experiences, profoundly disoriented, in the middle of the bed, on my stomach, often drenched in sweat. It was a physical, undeniable consequence, a stark imprint left by the non-physicality of the perceived encounters, tangible proof that something had happened. In another of these events, the sensation of floating intensified, becoming more pronounced and directional. I distinctly felt myself being brought through the window. This wasn't a physical passage through solid glass, which would imply a violent or destructive act. Instead, it was an ethereal, almost fluid movement, exactly what one might describe as an out-of-body state. My consciousness, my perceived form, seemed to effortlessly glide through the solid window frame, following the unseen forces, traversing physical barriers without effort. Despite the surreal, almost dreamlike quality of passing through a solid object, the experiences felt deeply, fundamentally real, leaving an imprint of undeniable physical and emotional sensations that persisted long after I woke. These details, floating, passing through objects, unusual waking positions, are recurrent themes in many abduction narratives, lending a sense of shared human experience to my own unique account. Crucially, these events occurred without any particular interest or background knowledge in NHI or alien contact at the time. I wasn't researching UFOs. I wasn't steeped in abduction lore, nor was I looking for such experiences. I was generally aware of abduction stories from pop culture or fringe documentaries, but this felt qualitatively different. It didn't possess the invasive, clinical, or violent undertones often reported in those narratives. Instead, it was strange, perplexing, and as I mentioned, somehow intimate. It was an experience that came to me, rather than one I sought out. Only later, driven by the persistent internal echo of these encounters, did I begin to actively explore whether others had reported similar experiences, leading me down the rabbit hole of ufology and anomalous phenomena studies. That research was the true turning point, transforming a bewildering personal event into a potentially shared human truth. Then, in the past few weeks, something else extraordinary occurred during my meditative practice. This practice has become an integral part of my healing process, particularly from a particularly traumatic religious upbringing that left its own scars. During a deep meditation, I experienced a powerful vision of a male figure leaning toward me. This presence radiated a profound sense of calm and connection, an almost overwhelming feeling of unconditional acceptance and deep empathy. It felt undeniably significant and emotionally resonant, a powerful anchor in my ongoing spiritual and psychological exploration. Whether this presence is directly related to the broader NHI phenomenon I've experienced, Perhaps a different facet of the same intelligence, or even a benevolent guardian figure, or if it was something purely symbolic, a manifestation of my subconscious healing and spiritual growth, I cannot say definitively. But either way, it felt deeply meaningful and impactful, a positive counterpoint to the more perplexing night encounters. It's crucial to note that during the visits themselves, I didn't feel any fear or panic. The experiences were accompanied by a strange calm, a sense of detached observation even during the most intimate moments. But afterwards, especially after the third and seemingly last one of the late 2024 series, the emotional aftermath was undeniable. For weeks, I felt intensely anxious, plagued by a persistent feeling that I was not alone in my room, that I was constantly being watched. It was a pervasive sense of unease, a lingering echo of an unseen presence that unsettled my everyday life, making it difficult to relax, especially at night. Thankfully, after a few weeks, that intense anxious feeling gradually subsided, and things slowly got back to a sense of normal. The watching sensation faded, though the memories remained. In retrospect, I now suspect there may have been earlier, less defined experiences too. Before 2024, I remember strange dreams that defied logical interpretation, a lingering sense of presence in empty rooms, or inexplicable sleep disturbances that I had previously dismissed as simply stress, fatigue, or the lingering effects of old habits. Now, looking back through the lens of these recent vivid encounters, I believe these seemingly unrelated incidents may indeed be relevant, perhaps earlier less direct forms of contact that I simply wasn't aware enough to recognize or process at the time. It's as if a pattern was always there, waiting for my consciousness to expand enough to perceive it. Emotionally, my journey through this has been incredibly complex. I've moved through stages of initial confusion, then palpable fear, intense curiosity, and a gradual, almost reluctant search for meaning. I've been concurrently working through my personal trauma, opening myself up to spiritual exploration in ways I never anticipated, and slowly beginning to accept the profound unknown with more calm and less resistance. These NHI-related experiences, while startling and even terrifying at first, have undoubtedly expanded my sense of reality and fundamentally shifted my relationship with the unknown. They forced me to reconsider the very nature of existence, consciousness, and what lies beyond our conventional understanding. And then there's this, a tangible, physical manifestation of how these experiences have changed me. After those intense nighttime encounters, something profoundly strange and unexpected happened during a thunderstorm. I've never, in my 42 years of life, been afraid of thunderstorms. The rumble of thunder, the sheets of rain, the dramatic flashes. It's always been comforting, almost majestic. But after these encounters, it changed. During a storm, it wasn't the thunder that bothered me, not the deep rumbles or crashes. It was specifically the light flashes. The sudden, brilliant bursts of lightning, even filtered through closed curtains, made me intensely nervous. And as this particular storm raged during the night, I found myself, for some inexplicable reason, curling in a fetal position on the floor, trembling. I am a 42-year-old male, and this completely surprised and unnerved me. It was a primal physical reaction to light, unlike anything I had ever experienced before. I must admit, this profound and unexpected new phobia, especially related to light flashes, significantly surprised me. It's a tangible physical alteration that occurred after the encounters, adding another layer of bewildering reality to the experience, an undeniable marker of a profound shift. There are more details, subtle intricacies that are hard to capture in a summary, moments that are intensely personal and difficult to articulate. But I have tried to keep this as concise as possible while conveying the essence of my journey. I don't claim to understand what happened or why it chose me or what this intelligence truly is, but I feel profoundly compelled to share my story. It's been a heavy burden to carry alone, a secret that weighed on my soul. If my case resonates with anyone, if any part of this connects with your own untold story, or if you feel it could contribute to broader research or understanding, I would be grateful for any insights, any shared dialogue. Most of all, I just wanted to say, if you have experienced something similar, something that defies explanation but feels undeniably real, you're not alone and you're not crazy. You are seen and your experience is valid. All the love and warmth to you. This deeply personal testimony from late 2024 offers a rare and powerful glimpse into a complex form of NHI contact, intricately woven with themes of trauma, consciousness, and the subjective nature of reality. The detailed account of light beings, intimate interaction, OBE-like experiences, physical post-contact symptoms like waking in unusual positions, and the sudden onset of new phobias resonates with many patterns reported in ufological and anomalous experience research. What are your thoughts on this astonishing account? Have you or anyone you know experienced similar forms of non-physical contact, intimate interactions with non-human intelligences, or profound shifts in perception after a period of personal crisis? Share your insights and experiences in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Vetted for more true encounters and explorations of the unexplained, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next upload. Let's keep the conversation going.